guys? What's up, guys? Sorry. No, coming on a little bit late. Thank you guys for coming in. Had network issues. Like yesterday, YouTube wouldn't even allow, you know, wouldn't even post the video until like Sunday. So we got robbed with one video. How are you guys doing? What's up, Tiny? How are you doing? I'm looking for something to hold the webcam in place so it's not moving and shaky while we stream it. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing, people? Who is having fun? And I got our friend the hookah. We need to make a name for it by now. So as you guys can see, without further ado, let me close some of these tabs because I was deep into so many things last night and this morning after pre-market. Of course, who didn't? How many people here agree with what Will Smith did, and how many people here don't? I just want to know. And please, guys, don't forget, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. And if you haven't liked the video, please also go ahead and do so that we can push it out to more and more people. Let them know the party is here. What did I tell you guys? This is what did we talk about? Remember when I said whatever happened last week? You guys probably remember this. Um, that this week, it was gonna make last week look like child's play compared to all the options that went into the money. And I also did say, do not freak out if you see stagnant movement on Monday, like nothing that's or like a slight drop. And I'm referring to the you know to tlry and sundial in this case. You know, what's up? How are you? How are you, everyone? Um, how's it going, Katie? Welcome to the chat. I agree with you, Tiny. It's a very that was a very political answer that you've had. I do agree with defending your family, but you got to remember, guys, um, they're in the comics business. They're comedians, and Chris Rock was not one of those stand-up comedy guys you find at the Funny Bone or the New Guys or any of that. Chris Rock is a legend, okay, and you gotta give some respect. Like that's something that, um, like going up to do that. Like he literally went on his main stage in the Oscars and smacking a grown man like that. Um, I believe it's just not equal. Like protecting your family is one thing, but doing what Will Smith did on stage in front of millions of people, I wouldn't be surprised if Chris Rock sues. But then again, I don't think he will do that because I think he's a class act in a way. But again, they're comedians, so you gotta. What do you expect? Like this is what they do. They pick on somebody, and they take him off. But you got to come in with the mentality of you know accepting a joke or giving one. Um, I think personally, if I had anything to do, like to say, really, I think it's just because Will Smith is probably tired of hearing everything about Jada, so therefore, it just hit the wrong spring, and came in and really you know took the wrong guy out of him. Whatever it is, again, that does not pertain to our EAMC, and let's dive into this, guys. Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready for some analysis or what? Let's see. So right now we currently dancing with the $28 level, which is expected, especially right after that rip. Um, and one other thing that I tell you guys last week, I said you're gonna see that I won't be like, don't be surprised if we broke the 25 to $30 level. Um, and it sounded very, like wild or anything, but it wasn't. If you've seen the setup and you've seen the movement and the pattern and the movement of last week, and especially the 15% days that we had in the pre-market and the aftermarket, that's when you see the big thing moving. Now we're officially broke the $28 level, and I'm not gonna be just the only one. I don't know if I'm the only one to say this or not, but don't expect this to be it. Like, for those of you out there who are worried that this could be by tomorrow, it could be dropping or any of that stuff, I wouldn't see that, because again, this all of this is possibly without even having to cover any of the contracts that went in the money yesterday. This could easily just be lying. And our webcam have fell from its anchor. Sorry, guys. If you got dizzy from that, I apologize. 1 second. Let me grab something to fully make sure that that does not happen again. And I dropped the hookah also at the same time. This is wonderful. Ugh. Okay. Looks like the shorts are trying to drop us in every single way possible. Dropping the hookah, dropping everything. Okay. Pet welcome to the chat. What is the next buy and sell zone? Uh, well, here's the thing. I can't tell you when to buy or when to sell, but in the same time, I hope if you're a person who's scalping this play, you might want to check Blue Ice, Twitter or page, or find somebody like that, because I'm not a scalper on AMC, GME, um, in no matter what, that's just the case. And wow, look at that movement. But besides that, this is like, as far as a buy zone, this is nothing compared to where this is going. This is nothing, brother. So hopefully that answers the question, that, and hopefully I did not upset you as well. Mm. Last week we dropped the coffee, and it was good for us. I don't want to drop this coffee because I really enjoy it, so we can pretend that it already dropped. Okay. Um, like, keep his wife name out of his mouth. Yeah, I know, right? It's gonna come out like in Men in Black or something, and smacking like this. Like, I'll tell you this though, I'm not a Chris Rock. I'm not a comedian. Well, I do like to have fun with life and everything, but I'm sorry. No other man is smacking me. That never happened, and will never, it never will. Or obviously, again, this is in Arabic culture, guys. In Arab culture, like, that's taking all your manhood away. Is equivalent to that. So that's why he's pretty huge for what he did to Chris Rock. Let's see. But I promise I would not talk about his wife, of course. That's also another thing we can't do. Talk about mothers, sisters, and Wives. AB, is it party time? Well, as soon as this 3 o'clock closes, then you can start the idea of partying. But believe it or not, guys, one of the main reasons why we're actually not mooning and in Mars right now, like right now, according to this volume, we should be in the 40 and like possibly in the $40 level, and dancing with that. And you're like, wow, AB, so why are you just throwing some weird number like that? Well, apparently there's a guy by the name of John McDonald, who's the VP of AMC's US operations. He apparently have sold, and again, look at the weirdness of these things. Like he sold, and I don't think it was today. It was probably on the 23rd of this month, but it's being utilized today, because I could see that through the volume easily. I don't think any other YouTubers reporting this to you, but this is what I was diving into deeply yesterday, and then I've been looking at the weird data two levels, and it literally is weird buying that is going on. I know it's not covering, but it's some weird buying going on. I can't personally yet trigger who is buying that, because they're constantly using that 98 reference. So that's like 798, 398, 498, 798, 798, and a lot of those orders I have been seeing throughout the day, and specifically actually after 7 o'clock this morning. So that's one thing that is holding us, I would say, down, is the fact that he sold those shares, and he sold them for $20 a share, and he sold about 55,000. I know that it's a drop in the bucket, but we do all know that when they do this, there's a cutout crowd out there, guys, like a very, very, very old oriented, stock oriented crowd in the stock market that literally acts just on this. Like, if they see an insider sell, that prompts them to sell or to go ahead and short a play. Literally, there's a crowd like in there that has just been there for so many years, and they take insider trading as a sign that the price is going to go down, or an inclination that something bad is going to be announced soon. So therefore, they go ahead and either sell if they had a position, or they go ahead and short if they don't even have a position in it, because again, that's an indication to them. So what that does is that helps the hedge funds add more selling pressure on the stock to try to hold it down, even with a few stocks like 55,000. I'm pretty sure that we got rid of them by now. Um, but that's what's been holding us back here, at least, which again doesn't matter. You know why? It's even better, because the more you put out there, the more that they have to cover as this thing is flying up. So I can't complain. I just can't wait to see what's gonna happen with even this in the aftermarket, and I can't wait to see what happens with sundial and tlry. Remember, guys, when I said it's party time, it's always I need to see 25, 30% sessions back to back. We didn't get that last week, but it was enough to get us to this. So now we're at 40%. Honestly, from now until the aftermarket, I'm looking for another 20%. For me, I'll be content if we finish another 20% from here until the end of tomorrow. If we do that, then you bet yourself that we're gonna be partying, brother. We're gonna be partying 100%. Again, there's always that risk, and to be a successful trader, you always have to cover those bases. You can't just because I feel like it and it looks like it, that means it is. There's always that what if, and the only way you could cover that is by having some conservative ideas and strategies to follow through with your trading. You know, always better be safe than sorry. Always, no matter what. Um, ATJG, sorry, 64. It's too early for me. I've been looking at a lot of numbers and letters all morning and all day. So it looks like it, brother. It looks like it. I'm not putting my finger on it yet, but it looks like it. Um, don't spill the coffee. Don't worry. This one I'm doing my best to not spill. Uh, consider it already spilled, okay? That way we got the good karma and everything, you know. Pet try, tomorrow gap up. It's extremely possible because now think of it like this, guys. One, all this that happened today is only adding more pressure now. Imagine where we just went from. We just went from the $20 straight up to the 28, and I'll be damned if we don't break the 29. In fact, the $30 mark. And once we break that $30 mark, can you imagine anybody who was short on this and how difficult it was for them to try to keep it down? Do you know how hard now that it just jumped another $10 on top with all the options that are in the money and all the people that are like, you know, all the companies that have over leveraged margin on it? Those little guys on the sideline, they're not going to be able to call somebody and say, hey, let's can I get a couple $1 billion, or like what Melvin did with Citadel. You know, this time they're going to be like, you're on your own with this. The problem with this is if they fall, they know that they're bringing so many other people with them down. So it's a screw me, screw you situation. No matter no matter how you cut it and no matter how you look at it, it just comes down to now who's gonna give who money to try to avoid margin. Because if they were gonna get margined around the 15 and the $20 level, imagine when we're not soon in the 30 and then the 40. Again, none of us know the bank reservoir, or what they have. And this has a lot to do with what's happening with crypto. It is very weird movement. The fact that both of these are going up at the same exact time. Uh, there's something going in the works. Like there's something cynical that is happening, and we're gonna find out pretty soon. Maybe they're YOLOing out because it's time to pay the apes and pay us our tendies. So they're pumping out crypto one final time before that major crash comes. Again, this is my opinion, guys. I'm not a financial advisor, nor do I give financial advice. But um, tomorrow we should be starting to see the contracts that went in the money from last week go in. I mean, look at this, guys. GME is at 180 as we speak. Um, AMC is still like that please, like basically saying buy me. $28, guys. One thing we do know about trends is that when it breaks out, when a stock is beaten and it breaks that trend, it always goes completely way over its previous high. That's majority of the times, of the pattern of the market. So if we're looking at, and when I'm looking to the side like this with the corner of my eyes, guys, I'm looking at my laptop screen, and I'm looking at, like, the plays as they're developing. So feel free to be doing the same thing. Of course, I can't see if you're doing so or not, but it's very good to see about almost a 40% gain for us. If it wasn't for Mr. John McDonald, insider sales, then we should have easily been in the upper 30s, maybe in the bottom 40s. Um, GME is continuously, again, guys. I've been saying this for months now. The fact that it will be all the meme stocks squeezing, and here's the crazy thing. You saw how throughout the whole day it was just AMC, GME, and then suddenly you started seeing koss creeping up, bbby creeping up. Almost everything is catching up except of tlry and sundial, and that's understandable because you'll see the fireworks tomorrow. Okay. Yes, Tiny. He sold at 20. John McDonald sold at 20, which again makes zero sense to me. This is why I feel like that AMC board is all in bed basically with hedge funds or shorts, because it's every time they're selling, it's at a crucial time for us. It literally comes at a very crucial time where it's like our time to run up, and then they report this crap. Um, so this is why it's like it's so evident, like how the pattern of when they sell and when we gap up or when we get hammered. It's so crazy how the correlation is so obvious that any stupid detective would be able to say, you know what? Oh yeah, this is easy. Easy. Somebody's in on this. They're in together on this, and that's the sad reality. And that's why I don't blame Ryan Cohen in GME for not sharing his company's strategies, except with the trusted board members that he personally have brought on board, and that proves very costly because look, GME is beating them up upside down every way you look at it, and that's why Ryan Cohen went on the offensive last week by calling out people, um, and going against BCG. The guy obviously clearly sees that he's in the position of power now. I'm in the position of dominance. Now I'm gonna come after you. You're weak now, and that's the pretty evident message that was sent, that I got across from Ryan Cohen. So I just wish that we didn't have that same. We did. I just wish we had the same board on our side with AMC. Now, with also that being said, do you guys are seeing HYMC like Highcroft? Ooh, pretty good scalp. Let's see. Vincent, que paso? He's saying que paso amigos to everyone. So everybody, que paso back to Vincent. Wolfpack, what's up, brother? It's I believe his name is John McDonald. I don't know if he's related to the McDonald family, but his name is John McDonald. He's the VP of the American of the U.S. markets. In the U.S. basically. But yeah, he sold. I think it was on the 23rd of this month. It wasn't today, but they're using those shares today to obviously announce that there's insider sales going on. You see that correlation of the timing on our run up day. This stuff comes out. This is why I say it's so shady going on. And I believe he sold 50,000 or 55,000 shares, and he sold at a very very, what's the best word to use here, at a very mere and sad $20 a share. Clearly he's not an ape, right guys? He will also clearly not get no thanks from me or thank you letter or any celebratory thing after the squeeze. uh, I literally might, and this is a might, I might send Adam Aaron a thank you, maybe. um, but the rest of the board, I might send them, like, the middle finger as a message after the squeeze, because they literally did nothing but giving us that throughout the whole movement. None of them is holding on to their shares. Everybody's selling like this. There's so many cynical things that have been happening, and again, I'm not waging war against AMC's board. It's too late for that now. That should have happened about a year ago. Now we're in the end zone, so it's all about scoring that touchdown, yeah, baby. Okay. Sorry, guys. That coffee is amazing. Arabic coffee, it shouldn't even come in this mug. Like, this mug is actually this cup is actually very big, because Arabic coffee is normally drank like a little shot, like a shot of whiskey or something, because it's that high on caffeine and it's that strong. Uh, hey, Angel, how's it going? Welcome back to the chat. Options Cartel, what's up, brother? It's time for the two hookahs. Well, right now I'm working with one. Soon, when we triple or quadruple our views and people in the chat, I probably would need two. That way, I can invite people over to take a puff. Don't worry, the restrictions on that virus are gone almost just about now. We're in Ohio, so they're not as strict anymore. Future Whale, how are you doing, brother? Zycom, what's up with you? Retirement seems closer and closer. Well, indeed it is. Guys, please all don't forget to like the video so that we could get more and more people, so that we can, when it hits that 4 o'clock and it's somehow it had a gap up, I'm gonna be looking at the chart, so we're gonna see if we're expecting a gap up. Right now, I'm just reading all the comments, and it looks like we're already due for any ladder attack at any given time now. That was a puff for all of you guys. Dark pools are approximately 70% again. And yes, expect that to be the case. You guys see now, like you see how Pet just came and reported that. What who's been telling you like out of everyone else, who's the only person has been telling you that everything about this whole play, all the meme stocks, all of it can be solved in the dark pool. Forget payment for order flow. Forget everything what other influencers have been telling you about other stuff. Dark pool is exactly the thing, and that's why we made that video a couple weeks back talking about having to go and make comments because it's due by April 18. Because the way that the dark pools are regulated as we speak right now, and this is again a look for people who don't know, like, okay, you know what the dark pool is, but you don't know what is really happening inside. Well, here's the thing. The reason why you don't know, even the SCC don't know, and here you're like, wow, really? The SCC don't even know? There's no way. I'm pretty sure they know. Oh no, but my friend, the SCC, there are certain dark pools, or a lot of dark pools out there, some dark pools out there, that they don't even have access to see, or they don't have anybody that's like watching to see what is happening on there, whether it's a dark pool that just trades government securities or if it's a dark pool that trades all securities. Right now the setup in, and they've been working on this since September 2020, and they keep pushing this rule and this regulation down, kicking it down the road for later, and now we're looking at April 18 for the submission of the comments section to go in. Now the good change that's going to happen in that regulation, if it was to go through and pass and not get remodified again as they've been doing, is not only will the SCC be able to ask them to give out the information on that day or in every trade that is happening. It doesn't matter whether it's a government security, traded security, or a regular security like AMC or GME. They will have to report every single transaction, every single trade. If you're seeing a public, let me break this down even more. If you're seeing a publicly traded stock, again, the word publicly traded stock, but 70 to 80% of it is being traded privately, there's no words for it but manipulation. Only it is a publicly traded ticker symbol, which is the mind-baffling part, It's a publicly traded ticker symbol and a company stock. Yet it is being traded privately more than it is traded on the public, blockchain. So that's the crazy part, is that you have to break down and understand that. Imagine this: we went up $8-9 in one trading session, and it's not over yet, with only 30% of the trades going through, which still indicates to me at least, that all this is still being controlled to a level where it's being throttled. And the crazy part is that I bet that what they're going to bring out and come out to say, whether tomorrow or sometime in this week, they're going to come out and say, and watch this prediction, they're going to come out and say that shorts began to start to cover, and they covered, and at some point they're going to try to label it as a covering began. While in this, I can easily tell you that, with 70% going through the dark pool, if shorts cover, you're not going to see anything going through no dark pool, because they know it's done deal, it's over. The thing is going to take its course, it's going to fly, it's going to rip, it's going to do what it's got to do. Dark pools will not be in the play unless it is really working the way that it's supposed to work, which is sell to institutional sellers without us or our orders being funneled in. Which, when that happens, you'll see that the Fed's reverse repo and repo operations will also not be anywhere near to where it's been at lately. Sorry for going on that rant, guys, but I had to just, get it out so that we all are on the same page, which I'm pretty sure we are. I'm looking at right now. I couldn't look at the reverse repo operations today. It's been going down toward the end of last week So let's see where it is today, this week. Did it pick up or is still going down? No, see, it's at 1,688,000,000,000. Remember, at some point last week, we peaked out at 1,800,000,000,000, and then we started ladder going down, down the ladder. So I'm liking this. And how many counterparties did we have? And we still had 86 counterparties. Wow. Let's see. Don't go tracker. Okay. Let me read this while we're looking at that. Future Well said, "I always forget to hit the like button." It's okay, brother. At least you remembered and you hit it again. So for all of you who did forget, don't forget. And thank you, Tidy, for reminding everyone to subscribe as well. I feel sorry for all the people who sold in fear when it was at 14, 15. I really feel sorry myself as well for everybody. But in the same time, remember, guys, the video that I uploaded yesterday, and I was completely taken back by all the comments you guys made. You guys are all, if anybody needs any conviction, if you don't have any conviction still in AMC or GameStop, just go to my page and go to the last video that I uploaded, which is the one from yesterday, and look in the comments section. And that should by itself give you enough conviction into why you should be in such play and why you shouldn't fall for that $14, $15 like, you know, like the expectations. At least we're not going to ever tell no one when to buy and when to sell, obviously, here, but we can give you info, and that info, and you could be the judge. I mean, we'll make the case and you could be the judge on whether it's a valuable play or not, or it's worth more than $14 to $15 or not. Again, you're the judge at the end of the day. You make that decision and hit that buy or sell button. um but much love to all of you guys, because you guys had amazing responses. I was completely taken back by it, and honestly, I almost felt like it was a challenge or something, like to, like, you know, hashtag it, like each one should put something and hashtag it, and you know, everyone could have their own conviction and their own trend, and it's okay if some are similar to other, you know. Again, at the end of the day, we are all in the same play, so we're all in the same pool. If it gets, if it's, if it's, if one goes away, we all go away. If we all go away, everyone goes away. uh let's see. Sorry, I gotta go back up here to see if I might have missed some um comments, maybe over here. Yeah, so guys, believe it or not, with 30% buy pressure or actual volume going to uh the lit market, we're still moving this much. And here's the thing, guys. The buy and hold truthfully comes to the test later down the line, because here's the thing they're betting on. And you could kind of see, I'm going to make a case for you and then see if it makes sense to you. The reason why they're utilizing, like, because some people have that question. I personally had this question a while back. I was like, why are they still doing so many trades in the dark pool? I understand they want to get money, and I explained how they get it from the Federal Reserve through repo and reverse repo operations, and only 24 hours, and then the crime is deleted because the money is with them and the securities are back with the original owners. And as far as now, there's transparency still going into the works. So soon they won't be able to hide the bone, like, you know, when dogs, you know, dig a ground and hide their bone in it or their treat in it to come back for it later. Well, that soon is going to come to an end, which means their main tool for prolonging this play, which is through the dark pool. And again, you've seen it at amazing, you see a very fine example of that today as we speak. On the lit market, you see it's only 30% that is going through, almost 30%, and 70% is going through the dark pool. Well, you ask, it's like, why are they still doing? Like, there's another question. You know, why are they doing that? Why are they still doing that? Like, you know, if they know that this is inevitable and it's going to go up and it's going to do its thing, why are they doing that? Well, one, since they already know it's inevitable and it's already over, they are only betting on the fact that when it does climb, that people will the lack of knowledge of for what's happening, they're betting on the fact that for the lack of knowledge, when it goes up and it climbs, you're going to settle for much less, and therefore all these transactions they're doing right now was just to prolong the play, because they hit two birds with one stone. One, a lot of people who are afraid, like Tiny just said a little bit ago, and sold in the 14 and the $15 level, or even the 20 or the 18 or 19, or even the people who are trying to scalp this, they benefit a lot with that. That's one rock. And second, by prolonging this, they're able, the big dogs on top, who are really master orchestrating this whole thing, are able to fix their books for a whole year, and eventually dropping it on the little guys, and eventually forcing the government, when the time comes, to have to step in to bail out the whole situation. Because if you really wanted to make some really good money today, you would have paid attention to Tesla's ticker symbol. I understand it's a lot more expensive than AMC or GameStop, but the profits that you could have made on Tesla today would have been astronomical. You're talking about over $80, $90 to about $100 now, I think, if I'm not mistaken, in gains, all in one trading session, which, again, on a stock level, it's not much, but for me, I find value in anything is in front of me. Nothing has no value. So if I keep cutting through it, and this is the mindset I'm trying to transfer over to you guys, there's always money to be made, no matter what the conditions are in the market, and no matter what is happening, and whether it's on the going upside or on the downside. I understand shorts have made a very, very bad rep, and have scarred many of you from the term shorting. But there is nothing wrong with you doing the same thing. You could short if you know what you're doing. Otherwise, don't even approach it within a mile. But if you literally have placed any calls today on Tesla, the odds are you would have made hundreds of thousands of dollars. If you just had possibly just like 10 calls, would have made you probably like at least $60,000 to $80,000 today. With that, let me sip a coffee. Okay. Future Will said, look, I don't like our inside of the AMC, but we needed the sale for that price of 20 for Friday to keep us above in the options chain. Well, see, Future, backpedaling to last week, I was saying that $20 before it got to Friday, $20 was, since actually probably Wednesday. I was saying that, of last week, I was saying that we needed the $20 level, and it was the most important one. There was many different opinions out there saying that 22 is the most important. And I think that was Lou that was pushing that out. And there was many that were talking about 15, and Max Payne 16 and 17 and maybe 18. And no, honestly, I'll be honest with you guys, there are so few that really understand the option chain out there on the YouTube channels. And I understand they probably could be good with technical analysis on a chart, on a moving chart, but as far as the option chain, is two different things. So being able to do both is a huge plus for you, especially if you're trying to be in every part of the market. If you ever need to short something, you need to have both of those. You need to be really polished on both of those really well, so that you can do that. If you want to make some call options, or some puts, or some strangles, or straddles, or butterflies, or all these have their own times and own strategy, and to do so, you need to have very, very good knowledge on both, either the option chain, how to read it and how to decipher it. In the same time, have very, very, very good, at least very above average technical analysis polish, understanding. So putting both together, and then adding whatever the hype is happening outside of what's going on, and then add a few years to experience in that. All this doesn't just come by you knowing this and this. You also have to develop with time. Like it just comes. Experience can't be bought. I've said this many times before. Like it comes with time. Unless you're throwing it away. Every day, make sure that you're looking and you're learning something new, guys. Even though with the ticker symbol down, even when we were down for a whole year and a half, guess what? That didn't stop me from having to grow my whether my portfolio or my knowledge in this. Because if you want to be in the stocks even after this play, you need to have all this stuff down. Even if you don't want to do the market after this, it's still you're in this play. How will you know when to sell? Are you gonna stay online and wait for people to say I sold, and then you gonna get influenced by that? What if it was a bot? So you have to it's time to step it up, not just to the next level, but the level even after. DD, you okay? So DD right now needs to get like if it was an all system as complete one system and they're all working within each other, I will put the thrusters like I will close the thrusters on the DD right now. Let it cool off. I don't need more DD. All the DD in the world has been done on this, and there's no need for any new DD except just mild news of what's happening. Oh, so like somebody's insider sell. That's good DD. You need to know that now. But by now, I hope that everyone knows that you don't need any more DD on the play itself. Hopefully that is something that you crossed that bridge about a year ago or months ago, hopefully. And if you recently just joined, hopefully you already crossed that bridge. So I can't wait to see where we close at today and then the aftermarkets. And again, watch out for the bold prediction. Don't sleep on what tlry and sndl could do tomorrow, because again, these guys, look at the similarities here. When AMC and GameStop most of the day have been breaking up, particularly right after the repo and reverse repo operations, which was around the 130, 145 ish time, that's when you started seeing koss, bbby, even spce, and a few other stocks start, even BlackBerry start breaking up to the upside. So let's see, where am I? Over here. Oh, I forgot what I was looking for. I was for a second staring at the screen of the laptop and was like, what am I looking at? Look at that. 45%. Just can't help but look at GMEs. 190. Sorry, guys. I will read the comments now and I'll answer questions. But let me look at a couple of other things because this is my due diligence for you. Look at who's rebounding as well. bbig is in the house. It's very little 1%, mere 1%, but it's rebounding. Neo is up on the move, 7% up. Okay, let's see. I'm looking at now. Sorry, guys. Sorry. I promise I will be reading the stuff now, but this is important for you guys and for me as well. You see, okay, so I was swinging some plays on tlry and sndl to this week from last week, and these are the moments where you start verifying to yourself if you are doing this correctly or not. Um, because obviously there was a big risk. Obviously, the move on the upside was out of nowhere, and it triggered just merely by the news of um, the House submitting that bill to be voted on by the Senate. So therefore, it was expected in a way for them to tackle it. But here's the thing: for me, the reason why I swung those plays is because the rest of the meme stocks, and those are heavily shorted meme stocks, whether sndl or tlry, and since all the meme stocks are breaking out, like AMC and GameStop, I don't care. Those other guys are going to follow through. I've been here since before January of 2021, guys. So I've seen this. I know these patterns. I've seen it. That's why I've been calling so many different things and being correct with them. It's because I've seen these patterns before and I know what they bring with them. They're all over leveraged on these plays together combined, and therefore it's only a matter of time before one breaks out. When one breaks out, all breaks out. And we closed officially at 29.35. Very, very, very nice. Now, watch the weird and the crazy gap up tomorrow with the option covering. If we go down tomorrow, just understand that there was nothing, literally, like that would literally mean that there was nothing technical in the whole market. Like, I understand it's been very manipulated, but if we go down tomorrow, we are officially not technical whatsoever, and most likely that theory of all the prices are fake. You're just looking at a pre-recorded screen that they're putting up, and that's the biggest conspiracy you could think of. I would start thinking that that conspiracy is correct if we go down. That's how, like, straightforward, all the technical analysis, all the common sense, all the things that are happening that happened last week to this week, all that, like, have to be coming up tomorrow, and we should be looking at a crazy monstrous gap, which is again similar to what happened last June of 2021. Last June, when we gapped up, this is exactly the way that it gapped up. And I will be looking for tomorrow to start dancing with that, like that, with like, okay, I'm not gonna try to hype you guys up, but tomorrow's setup is looking like we are due for a 20 to $30 gap up movement in one single session, if not even more. So you heard it here first. Hopefully it's met with that, because we should be tomorrow somewhere around the upper 40s, and maybe, well, like, maybe you could see us break that that all-time high, that $74 level. I'm not joking around with you guys. Like, what we had finished last week and the setup for today, what's happening today, those things are still to kick in tomorrow. And if they kick in tomorrow the way that they should be, on a 30% movement on a like publicly traded, and 70% not going through the dark pool, we still went up this big, like almost $10 in one session. Tomorrow you have to answer. They have to answer for all the options from Friday. Um, I mean, I'm pretty sure the dots are linking up for you right now, as they're linking up to me mentally, hypothetically, however way you want to think of it. This is gonna break their bank, and like I said, I'm looking for tomorrow to be somewhere in the 40s and somewhere in the, possibly in the low 60s. Like, if it could break that chain up that much, and then at that point we'll see what is happening as far as with the dark pools and all that other stuff. um GameStop, I mean, look at this, is very similar. Both AMC and GameStop had the literally the last 30 minutes, almost an hour, was nothing but green candles. Now, on pattern analysis, to speak to you guys, this is big trend in buying, and its momentum, which always, like 90% of the time, carries through the next trading session. So this is another tip you get to find out for future as well. If you see like a very bullish all green, like last, like if you're looking at the candles on here, I'm gonna just show you right here real quick, so that you guys are like not saying like, okay, what is he talking about? You see this right here? This is all AMC. Look at GME now. I'm gonna switch it. You see this? This is you see the RSI over here? You see how powerful that just went up? Which means that indicates that buying and this momentum is going to carry into tomorrow's session. Uh, and look what is how is going up. Like what is going to go into next session carrying what? This kind of momentum, with options having to be due tomorrow and possibly some FTDs. This will look like it's just like you can see it somewhere around here, possibly tomorrow. That's for GME. And as far as for AMC, you could easily, you see my bell right there? All my levels are chosen very strategically. You could easily see this tomorrow and perhaps even break these areas, just because of the buying and the momentum you see toward the end, and the fact of what tomorrow is what. Sorry, I just took it off of that. And 1 second, let me put it back on me before you see the rest of the place. All right, I'm back. All right, now I can look at the comments. I haven't seen what was going on, so I'm pretty sure we were way behind on that. So let me answer some questions. I just wanted to give you guys that info so that you can see it for tomorrow and for future reference. You guys are probably wondering, like, what is this guy smoking now? By the way, guys, thank you so much for all liking the video. We are pushing it out to more and more people. Let's see. Lots of visitors today buying. So if tomorrow will be, let's say, 100 million volume, you think they will be more successful to drive the price down when low volume? Here's the thing. Okay, from a day trader's standpoint, then yes, what you're saying is correct, Future Will. From a squeeze candidate, obviously, then all that does not matter. Low volume, high volume. In fact, they would prefer the high volume, which means they can get their hands on, which means somebody obviously selling more, which means they get their hands on more shares for around this price range. I mean, think of it. When someone knows that it's inevitable and eventually there's a possibility of them having to buy back these shares in the upper hundreds or thousands per share, wouldn't they spend a very, very punk 26, 25, 29, $30 on it now? It's kind of like a parking ticket, you know? So that, of course they would do so. So they would love, they'll prepare the high volume. And I told you guys before that there are good things about FOMO and bad things. It's good to have and bad to have. What's the good is that when they come in, they help adding more buying pressure, which could add more squeeze pressure to these shorts because they're over margined and over leveraged on their portfolios, on their positions. So the higher the price goes at any given moment, the ticker symbol could make them get margined. And at this time of the year is different. There's no way that they can go ahead and ask for some money. We've seen that. Trigger last week called and begged almost every major firm, whether BlackRock or Blackstone or the BlackRock underneath, underneath the Mecca BlackRock, whatever you want. Nobody's giving out money. That's the idea. So now all these guys are going to get over leveraged and get screwed. Now, here's the thing. When this buying pressure like goes up, the bad thing about the day traders or the FOMO is that they're always, as I said, the last ones in and the first ones out, because they go out because they just want to secure profits and get them. Now that does not mean you should let out or anything, because at the end of the day, one of the main other convictions of why being in this play is because of the heavily over shorted the short level on these plays, whether AMC, GameStop, or any of the meme stocks. You're not battling day traders here. Day traders are only like scalpers. I mean, imagine like there is a corpse in the middle of the jungle and you see those vultures that come out of nowhere, and normally they just come in and they're just picking until a major predator comes in and takes over again, and then they fly away until they're finished. That's what day traders are. They're just like basically vultures. I'm a vulture in most of the time as well. It's not a bad thing. I mean, no, it's a bad term to call someone that, but it's not a bad thing with certain plays or other plays in the market. But when it's a squeeze candidate, that's the last thing you want to do is be scalping this. Like, you don't know at any given moment if you're like, you could be the reason why this does not squeeze, simply because if everyone has that mentality, then there are no shares that are going to be, all the shares that they need to cover will already be with them because everybody's selling early, and therefore they will cover all their positions and goodbye squeeze. So I'm glad that the FOMO is not in control of what will happen with the stock. Okay, let me stop here for a second and read some of the comments and maybe answer some of the questions. Let's see. Tiny Investor said, I feel like Ryan Cohen is waiting to buy AMC after the squeeze and clean up that board. Wouldn't that be something? Of course. I would love, man. You know what? If Ryan Cohen does that, I will officially, as I'm saying here, after the squeeze, I will go back. I'm not going to tell anyone what to do. This is why I paused. And I'm not going to tell anyone what not to do. Personally, I'll be looking at at certain levels when I'm watching, when this madness is gone and I see the major drop, the first major drop in AMC and GameStop, like after most likely I have sold, and this is like way down the line. When I start seeing inclination or for sure movement, that the movement is has ended and it's on the way down, I'm gonna be one of the people that is gonna be shorting those stocks because it's inevitable that it's gonna go down. And I want to make more money. I'm not greedy, guys. This is just investor mindset 101. This is how you're supposed to think. Well, I don't know what to tell you, but this is what I'm gonna do. And eventually, if Ryan Cohen buys out AMC or does something or comes in to be a chairman on the board, I will officially announce that I will be an AMC investor for the long term, like for fundamental reasons, more so than just a squeeze, uh, you know, afterwards. We are trending spite all the haters. Yes, Vincent, we are indeed. I always forget to hit. Oh, wow. So I did go way back. Uh, Assiduous, welcome to the chat. You probably been in for a little bit. Sorry, I'm just now coming to the comments or getting to the comments. It's not even Tuesday. This is amazing. GME, you're about to make me buy and hold. Touche. I was here in end of week prediction of 26 AMC, 165 GME for Friday. Totally just smashed through those numbers. Can't even focus on work today. Assiduous, you probably, yes, did hear that elsewhere, but you've known that here from last week. You remember when I said that we would break it easy like that? That, like, don't be surprised if we break the $30 level. Now, I did also say that it could be by the end of the week, which again, we didn't see any real fight from them yet, except manipulation through the dark pool, of trading 70% of the sticker symbol through the dark pool, which is again mind baffling. There you go, SEC. That's all you need. 70% of a publicly traded company is traded privately. Makes sense, right? Um, so you'll get to see what happens. I, like I said, my now prediction for the end of the week is actually that I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow we break the $40 levels, and I had it at the 42.89, and then possibly if we break that with ease tomorrow, depending on like looking at how we ended today, and all that buying pressure toward the end of the day, then I'm looking to possibly even break the 50s by this week. Don't be surprised, guys. I know I won't. Assiduous, yes. I think you think that we're gonna have some whales going in, and here's the thing. Um, I think I can't verify if Wales will definitely step in because I think Wales um, can see this. Here's one thing about Wales, guys. Whales normally are some of the most experienced traders also in the market, and not experienced as far as not just with technical analysis or anything. When I say whales, it's like Warren Buffett. Do you really think Warren Buffett is sitting looking at his computer just looking at technical analysis and looking at cups and W's and all time the the EMAs and looking at all that? No, he has people doing that for him. What Warren Buffett has is something that you can't buy, which is time and experience on the market. He knows the trends and he knows almost every ticker symbol just because of how many years he's been in this business. So what makes him that successful is, one, obviously all the money that he has, but he does have knowledge, of course, in technical analysis. But I triple guarantee you that he doesn't sit there and look for forming cups and W's, or moving averages, and oh, it's higher highs and higher lows means an inclination to the up. He knows, those whales know when to jump in. When they know that a situation is done deal, like AMC and GameStop months ago, they would form their position similar to those big institutions. They're considered whales, right? All those institutions, you remember all those teacher funds that were buying the stock at 40, they were buying it at 50. There was many whale purchases around those levels that we didn't even break back yet. look how much it fell, and they were still holding their positions. Well, one, you have a couple of theories. One, they were lending all those shares in the same time because they knew there was high demand for them. So they bought all the gold. Think of AMC or GME like gold. So they bought all the gold shares out there, as much as they can at least, knowing that the market makers and the brokers and the hedge funds who are shorting this are gonna need this gold badly. So therefore, aka this gold is a reference to GME shares and AMC shares. So they're gonna need them. So these institutions were renting them out, leasing them out, with high premiums. Now, what is being reported to you? I mean, as far as the 1.4% or 1% for AMC's borrowing rate, which again does not, I almost used French in this, I almost cussed, but, because it's so crazy, like these guys know every little thing about what's happening behind the curtain, and they make even calls ahead of time before any event, so they all jump in. So I wouldn't look for a whale. What I would look for in these after hours is obviously all the buying orders that they can't manipulate any longer in the dark pool, like throughout the regular trading session, to start going through, because also the failure to deliver from last week and months ago, there's millions of failure to delivers that have not been delivered. All those would have to be answered for, and I feel like you will see a combination of some of that tomorrow in the trading session tomorrow. But as of today, I think you're going to see FOMO in the after hours, of a lot of people who are trying to still FOMO get in, who have access to after hour trading. I wouldn't look at a whale buying right now. Um, I think all those guys have been in inside already. We don't need, remember guys, we do not need any catalysts for this. The only catalyst is money has dried up. That's the only catalyst, because the only way they were keeping this from being, capitalized upon is through getting money from the feds. I've explained that in all my analysis, so therefore feel free to go through. If you're not part of this channel, feel free to go through and look at what my theory on that is. And I feel like I made a very compelling case. So yeah, with that being said, I don't know if we necessarily need any whales. We are the whale in this, guys. We are the whale, and the whale is already in. That's just the way I take it. But of course, it would not hurt for more people to jump on board. So if Musk feels frisky and he wants to, you know, um, get more popularity or gain more popularity, not that he needs any, from more apes, then all he needs to do is, what's up. If any of you have any way of contacting Elon or any of these billionaires in the world, feel free to do so. This is a very great time to do so. GME 184. Let's go. Yep. Well, it closed at 189. I know I'm so behind, but right now in the after hours, obviously and clearly, we are above 190. Um, Let me see where we at with, just quickly. So good thing bbig closed at 297, which is not bad. And all stocks. Let me see where is. Okay, so sundial is still in the after hours 1-2% down. We're gonna see what happens around 6, but tomorrow is the day, guys, for all these stocks. They're all gonna follow each other. You'll see. We've seen it after the repo and reverse repo transactions that the rest of the other stocks, like the similar to bbby, koss, BlackBerry, all the other like Neo, those were majority down. It was only AMC and GameStop moving in the intraday and in the regular trading hours today. And out of nowhere, obviously, after the repo and reverse repo transactions, the other stocks started catching up. The other meme stocks started catching up. Now, they didn't go as crazy as AMC and GameStop did, but some of them got close, and you're going to see the fireworks tomorrow, I believe. Let's see. Recently viewed. I want to see, where's tlry on here? Okay. Okay, good. 1.5% down in the after. Okay, back to questions here. Uh, Vincent say hello, BBD. Yeah, those guys, unfortunately, they're the front lines. That unfortunate soldier that's watching an army of Vikings all attacking, and he's in the front lines, and he's like, "Oh shoot, we are outnumbered." um, and Vincent, I'm trying to stay calm. Have not seen this side of the green grass since September. Uh, Enjoy this, guys. If it makes you pumped, enjoy it. I understand that everybody tells you be calm and collected, but um, being excited, there's no way anyone on this earth that can tell me that they are calm and collected, but they're not excited on the inside for seeing this. Of course, you have to be excited. Get excited. When they say believe it, or if you want to see something, believe it and expect it and think of it, think positive, see positive. All that stuff is kind of true, guys. So I would be excited. I would be pumped. I am pumped. Um, and let this be a teaching lesson also, like look at this and be like, okay, well, eventually this run of course is going to end, and when it does, remember these things, remember every single thing, what ran up with what, when it ran up, how much did it run up, what I could have made had I had this, or like if I played uh, this option strategy, if I played a shorting or whatever, like take notes on all this stuff so that you can remember down the line that the last time this happened, it did this. And that would be completely, like, so much more valuable for you than just having to learn the technical analysis of things. I mean, honestly, technical analysis, I've told you, in a corrupt and manipulated market, it's not the last say for me. And that's why I'm much, much more safer of an investor than many out there, because I don't just rely on the technical analysis. You got to rely on many things, and that possibility of them manipulating obviously the stock. So all the technical analysis can do is basically kick dirt at that point, because at the end of the day, if you see all the cups and all the W's you see in front of you, and yet the stock eventually crashes down, what is a technical analysis going to come out and do for you? You just lost your money. You could easily come out and say, oh, it was a fake out or whatever, but what does that do? You still lost. Like, you still lost the money. So to me, I don't take that for an answer. I don't agree with, of course, I'm not going to like that. I'm going to be very pissed if that happens to me. So therefore, I don't just rely on that. One thing I will tell you about technical analysis, guys, the best indication for an upward movement, remember this, that, as something that I've said that I will at least vouch for, the most accurate out of the technical analysis indicators on upward movement is higher highs and higher lows. That theory, if you think of it, is and will be the only, in my opinion, this is what I've been trading, this is what I've been seeing, is the higher highs and higher lows. But that only gives you inclination, or an idea that is going to climb up only around that time, like as it's like after the 5 points movements. So like if you go from point 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, after that is going to start a new trend. Now it doesn't matter how gapped up or how big the move is or how low the move is, but that's the best that I've seen as far as patterns, and the most sure indicator for upward movement. Doesn't matter again how much, it just have always checked out as that. Now I've seen so many, my fair share of cups and W's, and guess what, they have not been 100%, they have not even been 50%. Like I've seen thousands of cups before I've seen an actual upward movement from that ticker symbol, whatever stock it is that we're looking at that point. Let's see. Impressive from last week. Boo, welcome to the chat. Impressive from last week, and they might spread the rest of it out and through the week to short it. Yeah, good luck on that. I mean, it's possible, of course, Boo, but you know how much money that's going to cost to and how many people they would have to kiss rings and hands to try to get that to even happen. Um, yeah, I don't see that happening, but again, it is a possibility. Because you got to remember, Boo, is that if they do just deliver the options from last week tomorrow with this trend and the FOMO that is happening, you're going to start seeing like the price obviously is going to climb up. And when it climbs up, you're talking about if we're at 30 almost today or tomorrow when we open, you're going to see like today you've seen a $10 movement upward without the contracts and fully the FOMO really coming in. Tomorrow is you're gonna probably see another 10 to 20, $30 even on the move up. And at that point, okay, it will look very, very sweet to short it for them on their end. But how many people would have already received, how many smaller hedge funds would have received at that point margin calls? Because the one thing that you do not want to do as a short, no matter how much you can manipulate, is the unexpected happening, which is one hedge fund perhaps, start covering. And if they start covering, then no matter what you're doing and no matter what you're manipulating, you can't do nothing about all those shares, being bought up and clearly the price climbing up, which means it will trigger the next person after and the third person after, and it's like a domino effect afterwards. And if you get caught shorting at that particular time as well, the price surges are going to be so rapid to the point where you will get margined, even if you did not even have any margin risk because of how the volatility is moving up. So yeah, I made a post last week and said that you would not want to be a hedge fund shorting this right now. Let's just put it that way. Okay. And yes, it is pressure from last week and it's still not over yet. Boo. Um, Future Will, man, I need some help deciding if I should hold my options overnight. Well, sorry, I'm just now reading this. Future, I know you put it at 349. I know there's not much to say about that now. But then again, it's like you just have to weigh out at that point. Okay, let me put it this way. Whenever I have options on the play, if it's a day trade for me, then that means I'm not invested in it stock and option. I most likely would have one or the other on there because this is just a scalp. It's just to make some money, quick money, and then get out. But with this play, I'm not treating it as that. So therefore, if I do, and I do have, like stock, I'm also going to be in it in both ways, stock and option. I have both positions. So this leverages for this in case this goes down with time, obviously as options lose their value with their extrinsic value with time. And let's say I was not correct about this trade, for example. So the stock leverages this. So in case this loses, I know that eventually when this pumps, we'll make up for this. But at the same time, I have this and this. So when I have both, if it goes up and it basically hits the price targets that I'm looking at, then I benefit from this side and this side. So that way I capitalize on both. And not only that, at the end, as I said before, at some point in this video, just a little while ago, that at some point I will also be shorting this when the movement is all done, because eventually what goes up must come down, and that is going to be the easiest and the most amount of money to possibly be made. Again, I'm not advising anybody to do that because that's the riskiest thing you could do on the market, is do any form of shorting, especially if you're not even an institute, you're a retail. But again, that's just what I will be doing when I see that trigger come through, and when I see that inclination that that's what's going to happen. I'm actually praying for people to be idiots or some companies out there to be stupid and start shorting this while the squeeze are not over yet. Then that means we just add more firepower. Those are just gas onto our fire, because they will also get marginalized. So like I'm telling you, nobody's going to short a stock like this right now, especially knowing the kind of firepower it has behind it. Not GME, not AMC, not by a long shot. No. Let's see. Um, yes, our patience is paying off. Is correct. Not at AMC Investor. I only mess with GME, but I'm happy y'all about to break $30. Let's effing go. Sidious, that's very good. Very good support from you because here's the thing: I'm invested in both, and you guys know that by now. Uh, but one thing we have to do understand is that even if you're just in one or the other, or even other meme stocks, and you're not in any of these two, that does not mean you're an outcast or anything. Everybody has different means, guys, and different convictions. But one thing that is clear is that we are all in the same boat. These attacks that have been on the on us, they have not just only been on AMC or GameStop. They've been on all the meme stocks. In fact, it's been even on the whole entire market to a certain extent. So therefore, we are all in the same boat. We have one common enemy. Um, so at the end of the day, we are not enemies to each other, guys. We should be happy for each other, and that's why I like what Sidious has said. Uh, you know, hopefully, if AMC goes to 1,000, you can only imagine what GameStop will go to. If AMC goes to 20,000, or goes to 100,000 or a million, you can only imagine that GameStop will also be ripping as well, if not higher, anywhere in that same range. So again, I'm not looking at who's better and who's bigger and who's all that. They are all being attacked by the same source, and therefore that source is my main, or our main enemy or conspirator in this situation. I know Tiny and Insidious are very happy with GME right now. So am I, guys. All this buying you think is some fund buying? Well, here's the thing: I don't think it's a fund buying, pet, because again, 70% of the trading volume today went through the dark pool. um, I think this is just some FTDs from the past, honestly, and mixed in with a little bit of the FOMO. Tomorrow we're gonna start. We tomorrow you'll see real FOMO. Like that's when we were really supposed to see even real FOMO. It started last week, honestly, um, and some of this is from last week, and some FTDs from the past that God knows when, how long, could be probably from June of last year. I wouldn't be surprised. In fact, it would actually make more sense than anything else. Um, but yeah, let's see. Ah, Yes, it is. I'm opposite of you. That's what Vincent said. AMC investor and GME cheerleader. We are battling the same devil. Yes, yes. And you said that way before me, Vincent. See, great minds think alike. Amen. Amen. Alan, how are you, brother? Let's effing go. What up, my boy? Hopefully, I do not shoot myself in the foot by saying this, but I think the after hour activity is going to push GME to 200. Um, yeah, you shouldn't, no, you shouldn't shoot yourself in the foot at any given time. And, anyways, as you can see, the volatility that is happening, like at some point, we were up about almost 3% in the after hours, and they dropped it to underneath in the red, and now it's like a little bit back in the green. That gives me the inclination, obviously, or should give you the idea that the buying is very volatile in the aftermarket. It's moving. It's not like the normal after hours you've seen in this whole past 6 to 8 months, where it's just been stagnant movement at the end of after hours. It just dances with a 1% down, 1% up, 1% down, 1% up. This is different. This is moving and it's very volatile. So therefore, I would look again around that 6 o'clock frame or time zone to see some really interesting move on the upside. And not only for GME or AMC, I would look some weird moves from other ticker symbols as well. Let's see. Um, Alan, when is the gigantic gamma ramp gonna step? Um, Possibly tomorrow, Alan. I've made a case for why and how earlier. I think you probably heard it. I think you've been on when I said it. But if you didn't, just backtrack a little bit. You'll see it's not. It's very possible that it's tomorrow because tomorrow you got the. Uh, they should be submitting all the contracts that went in the money from last week. And by doing so, that automatically obviously is a lot of buying. In the same time, from today's action, you possibly could have anybody submit, like, somebody could have gotten a margin call. Now, of course, they have a few days, obviously, I think 2 to 4 days or a week, up to a week, to submit the difference to the bank or to the entity, the financial institution, to bring them back within the margin requirements. But if they don't, and I highly doubt anybody has that kind of money right now, then you will see even crazier stuff after tomorrow. Like, one thing I want you guys to know that in a short squeeze, yes, you can think of gamma ramps, and of course all of them have a gamma ramp before they squeeze. But in this short squeeze, for these meme stocks, do not be surprised if a gamma turns into the actual squeeze itself from the get-go. Because again, this was over leveraged and manipulated for over a year. So it comes down to not something that gamma ramps it over. No, they are like, imagine you laying down and somebody put a huge rock on your chest. You can't move until that rock is removed. And that's what they've been like with all these short positions on those plays. Those short positions act as a heavy, huge rock on them, and they can't move nowhere until they get rid of it. So a gamma ramp could also be the squeeze itself. And as I said that, the camera fell. So that could be good omen, guys, right? Who knows? I hope it's good omen. Um, so yeah, so don't be surprised if you see a gamma turn into an actual, just the beginning of the squeeze itself. Let's see. Boo Marley, look at the volume and look at ater. Yeah, I've been talking about ater here and there sometimes, not as much, but I hashtag it into my videos when I upload it. Did it have a major crazy move? No, it didn't. In fact, it even went much lower on the day today. No, it did go up. What? Yeah, it went up 5% today. Good move for it. Um, if you guys look on ater, whoever asked, who was that? Let me see. Tierra, Greg. Um, Tierra, ater and bbig are so like similar as far as their patterns. When one moves, the other one normally follows up a few trading sessions after. That's a pattern that I've seen between the two. So ater, if it's like, and they dance around the same price, like with each other. So like if one is at, let's say 3 or 4, and the other one is at 2.5, you will eventually see, and you could go back and look at these patterns as I'm telling you, so maybe it can make some sense. The other one normally moves to that price, and the other one replaces it on the down end by the time that one rips. So if, like, for example, if bbig was at 3 and ater was at 4, at some point within that week or the week after, you will start seeing ater drop to that $3 level and bbig being at the $4 level. So they've been kind of swapping. That's one side note as far as the patterns that I see. See, I look at every little side, guys, every little thing, whether relevant or not. I look at everything, and that way you can set yourself up for a monstrous opportunity of catching something really big. Now here's the thing. bbig have submitted everything they needed. And I made a post about this over the weekend. I know, guys, if you're not an investor in bbig, please do not think that I'm trying to like push any of these stocks. All of you guys that have subscribed to my channel know that I'm a very well-rounded trader. I not only talk about one ticker symbol, and I'm not YOLOing about something and just news reporting to you about that one ticker symbol. If you're looking for that, then I won't be your favorite channel. I won't be your channel, because at the end of the day, I'm trying to give you an overall image on the whole market and possibilities of making money across the sector. You can't just make money staring down one thing. You can't be just narrow-minded, you know? And again, there's nothing wrong with holding and buying and know the overall objective is AMC and GameStop. I've said that a gazillion times, but that does not mean that these other ticker symbols, like the one that Tierra brought out, is not a very, very potential one. In fact, I remember, Tierra, that Ater's CEO is actually pushing and have made an inclination that he's going to purchase some private investigators, if he have already not done so, to investigate the naked short selling that is going on with Ater or with the company itself. You can search that info out, and you can fact check me on that part. But like I told you guys, I keep my eyes and my ears almost just about everywhere. So most ticker symbols, trust me, I've either traded, came across, or scalped, or heard some news about it. That doesn't mean I know all of them. I know everything or anything, but like I said, I've done so many. Just like in 2021 alone, I had thousands of day trades. So yeah, with BBIG being said, guys, what I was going to begin with, BBIG have submitted already. I think it was on the 24th or the 22nd. Have submitted all what is needed. Vinco Ventures have submitted everything that is needed for the spinoff and all the paperwork needed for Cryptide to be its own entity, of course. And so they can only now all they have to do is announce the record date. So when the record date goes in, you will technically, and all this, you can go to the SEC website and see this, by the way, guys. You can go on Edgar filings and put in Cryptide. So CRY, yeah, PTYD. Just spell Cryptide in there, and you'll see, like, it'll autofill it for you, and then you can click on it, and you can see all the things since all its filings for the company since even September of 2021. And then you'll see also that they are only left now with just submitting the record date. Now think of this. Every 10 BBIG shares that you have will have one, you will get one tax-free also. This is the cool part. It's not just free, but it's one tax-free as well, Cryptide share from the spinoff. Now, here's the thing you got to think about as well. That spinoff, since it's not a dividend, a lot of people are confusing the two together. It's not a dividend, it's a spinoff. So that's the only reason why it's going to come out tax-free. But when doing so, that value of the spinoff that they give out will come out of BBIG's or Vinco Ventures price. So the company, it's BBIG, will, like, that price of Cryptide will be siphoned through BBIG so that it can be given out to as free Cryptide to the investors. Now, here's the thing. What does that tell you? For me, there's a couple of things. One main thing is that means the BBIG's ticker symbol is due for a major push up. Like when I say major, as in like really major, very, very major. I'm not going to throw any numbers here, but very major, so that the spinoff could come out from this. And then again, you got to remember the amount of shorts that's on BBIG is, and I'm not kidding when I say this, guys, it is not too far off from the amount of shorting that's on GME or an AMC. If not, it's up there with them. And again, I'm not putting it as far as big, but it did start way after AMC and GameStop. It started in the middle of last year when, the heavy shorting began going on it. But ever since it picked up, it's averaged more shorts than both ticker symbols combined, whether AMC and GameStop. Again, from that time zone, just from that September until today, of 2021 until today, it picked up a lot more shorts. And the reason why is because simply look at the price tag on it. And the community that it has is slowly and slowly becoming like a small AMC community where they heavily believe in BBIG to a point where they even hate. Some of them like despise GME and AMC. They're just like BBIG only and all that stuff. So that reminds me of GME movement and AMC movement in the beginning of it. And these guys are very big, and that company has a lot of good fundamental value into the future. Besides speaking about Lomatov coming in, Adriser, that they're all implementing all of them together to form the ultimate, marketing company that what Vinco Ventures is all about. Whew, it has big potential. So I can't stand when some people sometimes come out and say, "Oh, be careful of this. This is a pump and dump." No, you have no idea. BBIG is not no pump and dump. It looks like it now because it's manipulated, but it's not a pump and dump. You could easily make the same case about that for GME and AMC as well, but it's not. And Bed Bath and Beyond as well is very, very huge. So hopefully, Tierra, that all that talk could give out more insight on not only ater but BBIG as well. My tongue turned gold. uh, 200 million plus volume. And yes, that was amazing. Although, can you believe that that was only 30% of, uh, you know, 70% of that was going through the dark pool. Um, so can only imagine what, how great today was. Bob Loco in the house. How are you, brother? I know you've probably been in the house for a while, but I'm behind on comments. Uh, oh, a transfer came through just in time. Well, I'm glad that it went through. So no more fear and worry as we were talking about last time. Enjoy now. Harshan, welcome to the channel or welcome to the stream. The Hey bro, the broker app I have doesn't have after hour trading. Am I screwed for this play? Okay. Harshan, you're not, no one is going to be screwed for this play, in my opinion. Again, I'm not giving financial advice. But when this squeezes, the idea of this one is when it squeezes. The squeeze numbers are not going to be anywhere near um, your buy-in point. Okay. So even if you're not going to have after hours or pre-market access to trading, even then you're still gonna have a pretty high price. So like for example, I've said this before in a stream, I think it was last week or yeah, some point last week or the week before that. If we're dance like in the trading day, if we're around 8 or 900 or 1,000 or 2,000 or whatever the case may be, let's say we're around 15,000. Okay, I'm just going to use higher numbers so nobody could label me as FUD. Again, I'm using hypothetical just to answer the question here. So let's say we're around 15,000 in the trading market, like the regular trading time. In the aftermarket, it might spike up to 20, 18, 19, 20, 22, and all that. But that's the point that I'm making to you is that we're still going to be somewhat relevant throughout the market trading hours. You're going to be somewhat in that high level as well. You're not going to be in the trading hours. You're not going to be at 70 or 60, while in the aftermarket is going to be 15,000. You see what I'm saying? That gap is not going to be that crazy. But yes, you will miss out on some uh, opportunities in the aftermarket or the pre-market as far as bigger spikes, like just spikes, because there's not as much manipulation going on as the regular trading hours. I mean, plus, who's to say that we're not going to have a day long suspensions going on? We're going to have a few and a lot of those actually. But that's a good thing. It's not necessarily a bad thing for us because um, when they do that, that means it is a transfer. They're transferring from money from one place to another so they can give it to us. And look at bbby, a very, very handsome, what was it, 15, 16% on the day? What a run up. See, all happened relatively right after the repo and reverse repo transactions went in. That's when you seen the rip on the other meme stocks to carry along or to catch up with AMC and GameStop. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, let's catch up with here. Um, okay, Vincent said, I heard that selling after hours is not covered by DTCC and is very risky. I don't know. Well, here's the thing, Vincent. Trading after hours, I mean, here's as far as answering the DTC part, there isn't like they can't like it's not it's there's no risk or anything because at the end of the day you're trading to the market, whether it's somebody you're trading in the market. Yes, it is after hours or pre-market, but you're trading in the market, so of course no one can hijack your shares by selling them. And if you were able to sell them for an extra amount, then whatever, let's say again another example, let's say the price is 40,000 on each stock. I'm using higher numbers on purpose so that no one can call me FUD for using an example. So we need numbers for examples. So let's say the number is around 40,000 and in the after and you wanted to sell and you had inclination that in the aftermarket is going to be even higher. Let's say the price spiked up to 50,000 or 60,000 a share in the aftermarket and you sold. Does it really matter to you who insures it or not? As long as the money is transferred to your account and you get it, that's all that matters, you know? I'm pretty sure that to you, that's all that what would matter. Um, but yeah, there's no risk in the after hours. You might have a problem selling it or buying something because the market maker in a way controls the orders flow going through, and the technology is on their end and the algorithms is on their end on their side. But as far as you having to worry about getting screwed or something, nothing that could happen in throughout the market would be much worse in the aftermarket. um, Tony's Filipino, welcome brother, welcome back. We're doing great, brother. How are you doing? Um, do the market close at different times in different time zones? Um, I think it's whatever is equivalent to 4 o'clock. I'm pretty sure that in the West Coast that it's 3 hours behind. So when it's 4 o'clock here, it's 1 o'clock there. So I don't know. Good question. I have not traded when I was down there yet. Da, 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 da. All this on FOMO? No, no, not pet. No, this is not all on FOMO. Again, um, this is a little bit of everything. Again, it's like many different flavors put in one to make one full product. You got a little bit of FOMO, you got some of FTDs, you got some from last week, and tomorrow you're gonna see a lot more from where that came from. Why didn't SNDL go up? I remember a cool runner. I was telling you in a video that don't be afraid of any stagnant movement or any just or a simple drop like a few percent here and there on Monday because the data that they would have to deal with goes in tomorrow. So tomorrow is a very good judge to see what happens with tlry and sundial, those particular stocks. We'll see what they will do with that. You'll see then. Mohammed Hussein, walaikum salam, brother. After a long time feeling good, waiting for more than a year, and looks like the judgment day is coming this week or next week. Of course, it definitely does has all the inclination that it is this week or next week. But let's see. Tomorrow is a big thing. Remember, guys, every time I said that we needed 25 or 30% close end of days on two straight sessions. And that's for a reason because I know that when we move up 60% in the same week, that it's going to be almost impossible for them to try to dip the price down again 60 to 70% also within the same week, which means a lot of contracts will have to go even more and more into the money, which means that gigantic gamma ramp will be super gigantic to the point where it could be a ramp, a gigantic gamma ramp mixed in with the squeeze in one, all going in at the same time. So the next rise could be the squeeze itself, not necessarily just still waiting on the gamma ramp. Remember this, guys, because this is all different than past plays and past squeezes. There is Frank. Yo, 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 yo. Always colorful as well, with a personality bigger than the whole world to match. Look at that post with all the fires and rockets. Um, Jason, yes, we are about to break 30, and you'll see. Tomorrow, I have, like I said, my expectations is I have the marks here for AMC to be at 42.89. I expect us to break that level um, tomorrow and possibly even go into the 50s. Who knows? But I have 42.89 as the level to alert me when it breaks to it, because from the way that it closed today and this after hours kind of not justify what was happening in the regular trading session, does not, like, it just doesn't make sense that we were all green at the end, at the last 30-40 minutes of the trading session, but yet in the after hours we start with the red, which means someone is suppressing buy orders going in so that they don't get super screwed before the market opens tomorrow. They want to control as much as possible right now. They have like a gazillion of orders to go through, but they're only letting in like only certain orders go through. So for every buy order, they're probably processing 5 or 10 sell orders. In fact, I will look at the after hour movement on my phone after I get off the live, and I will put a message on the AMC community section, like, or the community section on my channel. Possibly with a picture showing you guys how the level 2 data is so corrupt and how they play with it, and what they allow through and what they don't allow through to control prices as much as possible. Okay. Yes, Alan. Well said. If you believe in something passionately enough, it will come into fruition. Yes, indeed. And Tiny, do you know anything about clever leaves? Well, it's in the same sector as the tlry and sundial, and it's very, very, very juicy. Now, I haven't done on clever. I haven't done crazy like DD. I just know that it had a crazy movement um, last Friday. And I think it went up, what, 50, 60% or 40%. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I do know that it's in that same sector. But again, I do know that sundial and tlry are perhaps even much, much, much heavily shorted than that, specifically sundial. Um, and it's for me at that point, it's kind of like, like I told you before, I think last week when I made a stream, that I was at some point in ACB and I got out, and you simply can't be in all the plays. And any play could be a profitable play. So all you got to do is, like, do your due diligence. And please, Tiny, if you end up doing some more hardcore DD on clever leaves, please come back, share it with the channel. We're all one family, so everybody else can see that. If it makes any sense, you just made a case. If it makes any sense to any judge out there, they'll take a they'll take a position into it. Who knows? Of course, none of us is advising anyone what to do, but we just present a case to each other, and the family after that will have a an overall understanding on whether do I want to get into that or I don't. I'm all for diversifying all your portfolio or all your assets, guys. I'm all down for that, because all the like, reach it, drop one apple and reach in for that one apple and perhaps losing the rest of the basket. You know how that turns out. Let's see. Muhammad Hussein. I have a feeling tomorrow 58. Oh, well, Mohammed, your feeling could be very good. It could be very, there's a lot to it. Like I said, I have the level to break I see here. I mean, the major resistance that we really truly have, um, I don't see many like in our way. The first major resistance I see that we have to break, which is eventually when we had the biggest drop, was back in November, the November timeframe. It was almost in the end of, yeah, November timeframe of 2021. That's when we had that massive, like by November 30th, we were going on a big trend, and we had a big red candle by December, uh, by January 28th. So it started in January, in November, and it ended in January 28th, which was when we started, kind of bottoming out. And then about a week ago, um, no, about a week and a half, almost 2 weeks ago, around the 14th, that's when we bottomed out. And I think it was around the 13 or $12.90 or $13. So, but that trend started in November of 2021, the end of November of 2021. So now seeing it do this, um, our major resistance that I see will be at the 42.89. We break that, then you can easily, let me see, 1 second. After that, our second resistance will be at, after the 42, will be at 51.77, guys. Um, and then after that will be 61.35. And after that will be all-time highs. No, like there's no stopping at the 72 or the 74 or whatsoever. It's going to be officially all-time highs, and God knows what number or what range we will obviously go to. And at that point, we will all be probably very, very, very excited. This will be child's play compared to when that happens. But yeah, mark those levels down. 42. After that, a breakout to 51, 53, 51-ish. After that, a major rip to 61.83, $62. And then we'll break the $62, guys, 63. Then sky is blue and sky's the limit. Hopefully that gets a little more, you know, hippie jibbities, for your feelings, Muhammad. Angel, what influencer do you recommend on options? Okay, Angel, I believe you were the same person that asked me something like this last on the last live or the live before that, and I'm sorry I haven't came back to get to that or to answer that. Thing is, it's very hard for me to, um, like, honestly, the most influencer for this would be me, because I would do, like, I know what I would do from my way of doing things. Problem is, it's like in these times right now, this, if I had done this channel, like started it a year ago, best believe I would have had many episodes in that time zone that we had to upload all these things. But right now in these times, it's very, very, very rough to try to scrape up time to make up explaining videos on that. Now, after the squeeze, possibly would have a lot more time and I could bring it up. But I know that, to you that doesn't, buy any bread in the market, you're like, no, I want to know now. What if I feel like there's something I need to do? And, this is the time for it. Like, if you have the inclination, again, um, what's the best way to answer this one, or who to send you to? Um, there's a guy I have in mind, okay? And it's this blonde guy, and he has a pretty big following. He explains it very thoroughly, and I'm gonna write his name. I don't remember his name, but I will write his name in the comment section of this video. So look out for the comment section of this video. At this time, I promise I'm not lying, or I'm not gonna forget. I never lied. um, I will put that. And if you have any questions, here's the best way to say it. You can watch, feel free to watch that. that guy. And if you have any questions after into whatever you're learning, feel free to come back and reach out to me, whether through comments, whether through Twitter. I know I have not really promoted Twitter at all, but even that, it's AB Investments as well, AB underscore investments. Um, and that's the best way to say it. Again, I hate having to send someone anywhere, um, because I'm a kind of mentality where I only trust myself doing it, but I will let you do your thing. I trust you doing your thing. So I've learned that lesson. First, I was on top of everything throughout my whole life, and then eventually I learned that you gotta give people the chance to fail or to learn or to succeed on their own and see what they could do. But now what I do is I watch it from the sideline. I see what you're doing. You could go ahead after I post that guy's name. You could go ahead and view it, and then if you have any questions after, you could come back, return to me, and then at that point you would have at least the basic understanding of some of the options, and then after that we could carry on, like pick up from there. um, Hopefully that's fine or cool with you, Angel. If not, I swear I will, when I get the time, I will make an understanding of options videos, as soon as I get the time for it. Guys, I operate my two small businesses as well, and I posted a small short of the chicken in the Greek burrito, and how we cut it. That looked juicy and it's amazing. I know that Tiny commented on it, and all that is so great. And soon I'm gonna take a. It's a small restaurant inside of a mall. It's called Florence Mall. So that it's like in a food court, and there's many other. You guys see the setup. You guys go to a lot of malls, so you know the setup. Uh, we're located next to a Gold Star and then a Chinese restaurant next to us. It was called China Max. So yeah, so with having to deal with that in the cafe, it's having this time is an amazing thing. You guys better believe that, um, being on this makes me feel very whole because I have you guys and it's like a family, and that's why it's very important. But it does not even scratch the surface of what it, like, what I could be obviously doing at my businesses, and perhaps making more, obviously making more money there. But again, money is not everything, guys. To me, principle and standard things like this, like having you guys as family now, I can't see a day where, in my future, where I can go without having to check in and see any all of you guys. So I'm already thinking about even post the squeeze, how why this channel will be very, very valuable, specifically because it is not a centric channel on just one play or two plays or whatever the case. We're looking at everything, and this channel will be really, really, really valuable in the future because people are going to have, okay, this is over, what do we do now? AB investments. Let's see. um Tiny said, in my opinion, TA only works when market is free. In a manipulated market like this, TA is useless. Yes, indeed, my friend. So we can attribute bigger pullbacks to institutions selling. Yeah. Okay. So the institutions, like I told you guys before, um, they're going to do a few things. And one of those things, I'm the only person to say that. And I've been to many YouTube channels, and I've seen, like, as of late, especially too, because some of you guys have been telling me to go here or there and see this. Um, and here's one thing. One, they've been renting out their shares. They've been lending out their shares so that people could utilize them and, keep dropping us down at a premium. Now that money is drying up, those guys can't come out and keep, purchase or leasing this thing in a way, or lending this thing, because they don't have money to come out and lend it unless they're willing to give it to them for free. Well, even that is even coming out for to an end because the transparency rules, and soon to be passed, the most important thing to be soon to be passed, I hope, is the dark pool regulation, as in the SEC getting the opportunity of having an insight on everything, seeing everything being reported to them from what's happening in those dark pools. So therefore, if somebody's trying to hide some synthetics and some index funds to send them over to the feds to get some money as their collateral, that can't happen anymore when the SEC has an eye on that. Which is, again, in my opinion, been the source of all evil to all our movement. And the main reason why we've been waiting for over a year, because the liquidity has been available um, via the feds. They're indirectly, but directly through the feds. So, and again, I'm the only person that also have made this reference or this idea, and it's not because I just had to come out with something different, but it's only because I've seen these patterns, I've seen the correlation, and I see why this can make obviously a lot of sense. So let's see here. So eventually the institutes, yes, as I was finishing up pet, eventually institutes, one, we know that they're making money on lending the shares. Okay, well, since it's coming to an end, what are they going to do? There is a big chance that majority of them are going to sell on the way up. Now, who are those going to be? I can tell you this: the fastest ones to sell are going to be the teacher funds and engineer funds and all that kind of institutions that are government based for people's retirements of 401ks. Those people, they see a 30, 40, 50% rise in their investment, they're going to pull the plug. Now, does it matter to us? I would not care, because the float, again, has been sold. Like, remember this: the fact that institutes hold less than 10% of AMC, specifically AMC speaking here, stock, and retail owns more than 90% of the retail stock of the AMC stock. Even if that number is out of 500 million, that 560 or 40 million shares that are coveted for AMC float, or even if it's 90+% of 20 billion, the extra floats that have been purchased on the side, bottom line is we own over 90%. So let that be in the back of your head as they sell. Of course, they're gonna drop these things and say, "Oh, Vanguard and BlackRock have sold their shares and they own 40 million plus, some of them in the company." Now, okay, they sell that. So what? There are billions. Like, that's a drop in the bucket compared to the billions of shares that needs to be purchased back or accounted for, of course, to end this nightmare. Now they're counting on, of course, everybody when they announce that stuff and they have that first major dip. They're counting on everybody's emotions to react to it, and obviously not diamond hand and let things go. So I'm not going to tell anyone to diamond hand or not to diamond hand, but if you have a mission and you have a number and a strategy in your head, you just got to stick to your guns at that point. That's what I'll end that with. I think we're going to see a 500 million volume day this week. It's happening. Alan, I agree with you, and I'm thinking it's going to be tomorrow. Joy Tinder. Jayo Tinder. What's your opinion on BBBY? Sing. Just a side note, Joy Tinder. Kadawe. And I'm not gonna. I know a lot of bad words too in Punjabi. I had a lot of Indian friends. I like I said, I'm all over the place. I know many things. I love cultures, different languages and all that stuff. So I try to fit in wherever I'm at, no matter where. So what do I think about BBBY? It is a scary, scary monster that I don't think I've seen you in here, brother, before. So consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video to get more people to watch this. But welcome here. We're very high on BBBY here. Our opinion is very sick. As you can see today, it had a monster run out of nowhere, specifically after the repo and reverse repo transactions happened. Look for that to be even scarier and crazier, because at least the board on Bed Bath and Beyond is a lot better than AMC's. Obviously, one, you have Ryan Cohen on board. Two, he's changing all the board up to 3 board members of his liking, and he's basically re-evaluating that whole board membership. The fact that Ryan Cohen has anything, his hands on anything, is a big plus. Again, many people out there and many institutes are calling him uh, the millennials Warren Buffett, and he is becoming the millennials Warren Buffett. He's our Warren Buffett, basically. Well, I'm a millennial, so um, so yeah, that's a big thing. And at the same time, they did announce last year that they were going to begin buying back shares. So, and it's supposed to end, I think, by the end of 2022. Whatever the amount that they announced, I can't remember exactly the amount they announced they were buying back, but they did announce that, and that is the scariest thing for shorts again, because when company wants to buy back, basically the shorts are out there have to start thinking and consider covering, because when all the short shares are being bought back, I mean, imagine this. Here's what's scary about it. Imagine if the float is supposed to be, let's see what on here. 1 second. Let me find Bed Bath and Beyond. Or before I find it, I'll just tell you. Imagine the float is 300 million. The company announced buyback. Let's say there was 150 million shares out, and let's say the company announces buyback. Now, that's what's being reported as 150 million. But theoretically speaking, we know that it's the same thing that's happened with Bed Bath and Beyond as far as shorts and as far as synthetics being sold. It's through the roof. So the odds are they're way over that 300 million share count, similar to AMC and GameStop. So what happens here, if the company is buying back its shares and is going to basically close out its shares, then there cannot be extra synthetics that are laying around or playing around here and there, which ultimately means somebody has to start covering so that they can level out the playing field or take the stock count back to the original float, which means if there was billions of synthetics on it, that's what you can see as incoming buy volume on the stock, and you won't be surprised if you see it in the high. If you don't see it rip like AMC and GameStop as well. So I won't count that behind. The only thing it lacks from AMC and GameStop is the amount of short on it. That's it. But besides that, it's a scary monster. Personally, I have a position in it, but again, I'm not inspiring or telling anyone to go open up a position in it. But if you've been a follower of this channel, you would know by now that I do have a position in bbby. Hopefully that answers it, brother. Alan, yes, ater only has 40 million float, which makes it more of a scary thing for them, because again, that float is so small, it can be all bought up very quickly. Like those kind of floats on a blockchain technology, whoo, you guys will never be poor again. Can't wait until they pass that, and that's what will become the market maker. Radwan, good evening, brother. Frankie, walaikum salam, brother. Welcome, Frankie. Great video earlier today, and obviously all content has been always with a great message. So I highly salute you on what you do, and as a fellow YouTuber, and I look forward to doing some work with you soon, sometime. You know, very straightforward person, which means you're very trustworthy. And like I said, I look forward to doing some work with you, some lives or some recorded videos or any of that soon at the same time. It will be a privilege, brother. Is GME and AMC still a good buy tomorrow? Of course, man. I'm not going to tell you when to buy, what to sell, when to sell. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, but you think of it like this: when you're buying or considering buying, the price that it is at now and the price target that you're looking to unload it at. If the number difference makes a difference to you, to your making your decision, then I feel like it's at that point a no-brainer. Hopefully that answers it, brother. Do you think any shorts covered from Frankie? I don't think shorts covered, but there could be a chance. I still don't think there was any short covering because they all are playing with the same rules as the other, like hedge funds. That's why they were able to, you know, continue it until now, a year and a half now. The only reason why they were able to do it, obviously, of having inside money, of being able to get money from the feds via through, you know, how through the dark pool. But the one thing also that is they've been talking to each other. DOJ has been investigating that. No word has been on that, but soon I would expect them to put out something where at least we have the understanding that they have been swapping positions and talking to each other, of course, you know, telling like, hey, don't do this because I will do this. And they even talk to each other a lot of times on the market itself via the algorithm. If they put out certain numbers, that means give me shares or don't sell shares, or you can search into that, guys, and you can see there is a group, like, you know, for certain numerics, when it's put through from the market maker, it's given a message to the rest of the other algorithms out there to what to do through the numbers now, whether it's a valid theory or not. um, I would like to feel like it is. There is some fruit, like there is some juice to it, but at the end of the day, I don't think anyone have covered today. Uh, but I still have to I have to see those orders that were going in as far as buying orders. There was a weird trend with the number eight at the end. I don't know what is the irony over there. I mean, it's not even a three or a six or a nine. And I know that those three numbers are supposed to be like the most powerful numbers in, you know, according to Nikola Tesla and all that theory. But again, we're not diving into that. Um, I just know that the eight was really relevant in almost all the buy-in orders today, or even sell. I've seen so many 498, 798, 398, 398, 298, 18. So it's like weird. There was a lot of eights. I just got to look and see if it was somebody covering or somebody buying. But I do believe that I don't think it was any covering because I think from the beginning, they the covering I feel like will start when this goes back or goes out of their reach, like completely, when, because I don't think that there has ever been any level where that could trigger, or that's the catalyst to us ripping. That's what they don't want us to hit, because we've been in the 60s and they didn't cover. We've been in the 70s and they didn't cover. We've been in the 50s and the 40s and the 30s and they did not cover. Why would they cover if we trigger, if obviously 22 happens or 24 happens or 25? No. And they still have access to Fed money, and clearly they still can manipulate whatever is happening through the dark pool. um, so I believe that I don't think there was any covering. I believe that this was just FTDs being delivered, some FTDs being delivered from over a year ago. Um, and if I'm not mistaken, I we could do some research on the threshold list and look at when was the last time it was on there, and then do the T+2, and you'll be able to find out, you know, if this was matching around the same time zone. But I think that's what it was around. It's just FTDs and FOMO buying. I don't think there was any covering. If anybody covers, you're gonna see a way more crazy movement than 9.33, $9.33 or $10 up. Again, this is from my opinion, guys, and my experience alone seeing it in this market. If you see any covering, you'll see crazy movement, crazy. Like you're not gonna see. Just weigh it out like this, guys. When and sorry for the prolonged answer, but Frankie, you know, and for the rest of the subscribers on this channel, you know how emotional I am. So I try to give you every single detail and angle. There's no such thing as an answer being too long or too short. You have to give all the angles from around. And I think that just look at it like this: when any of these insider sells, when they sell 50,000 or 100,000 shares, do you see how much damage they can cause with that, right? Imagine when somebody who's holding a short position that is not 50,000 or 100,000 shares. I mean, these guys have like hundreds of thousands of shares and millions of shorted shares sold short. Um, So when any of these guys start covering, you're looking at a much more monstrous and bigger rip that cannot have a ceiling on it. um, Cost to borrow for GME 26.9, 95,000 shares available to share to short. Uh, Prepare for that for the dip tomorrow. Possibly tiny, but I honestly think that we could actually be preparing for the rise tomorrow. Um, Even if they make the cost to borrow on GME, it was a 33% Friday and now it's 26%. Um, Even if it drops, I understand that normally when that happens, that means, there's less demand, which means there's a lot of those shares out there, which means it drops. But again, you know what they have to answer for tomorrow as far as for options from last week. So yes, there is, again, if it goes down, I've said it in the beginning of this chat. If the market or GME and AMC goes down tomorrow and the meme stocks go down tomorrow, then there is officially no technical anything whatsoever in the market itself. Um, that's just my opinion on things, guys. The line is in the house. Yo, yo, yo. You've probably been in there for a while. Um, 1981, Team Will Smith. Team Smack It Down, huh? AC John, 95,000 shares is nothing. Yeah, that is true. Although GME is, the volume on it is not high because again, it's a very high traded symbol, but it's still in the millions. So therefore, it is, yeah, technically nothing. And compared to, like I said, whatever options from last week have to be accounted for this week, and I know that they got destroyed all over the options chain last week. I was calling it. Um, yeah, tomorrow is gonna be the most interesting day of the week itself, possibly. Um, Julius, how's it going? You almost got the same Pantheon slogan or picture. If it is, hopefully you got the copyrights from him. You probably know him. You probably are subscribed to his channel as well. Great guy, amazing guy. I'm most likely almost every time at night around that time frame. You probably find me on his radio. Enjoying the night and cruising through the night on his radio channel, his podcast. But yeah, PotX is a good ETF to diversify. I have not done anything with PotX, so it could be true, it could be not. Appreciate the tip though, because I got something to look at now. Excuse me. Frank said, "Sorry, man. Been making my famous shrimp cocktails all day." Uh, wow, are you making them for yourself or are you a bartender, Frank? Because if you're a bartender, then I need that. I need mine. You're welcome anytime, Frank. You're one of the OGs in this channel. Tiny says she learned from the options from In the Money TD Ameritrade on YouTube. Remember, guys. Also, thank you for bringing that up. You brought another idea for me, Tiny, as well. Is think or swim. With if you have TD Ameritrade, you could always call in and any of their because they pick up. They're not like whatever you think about Robinhood and Webull of how if you had experiences with them of calling their customer service and it's like the biggest nightmare. It's the complete opposite with TD Ameritrade because TD Ameritrade actually and which is Thinkorswim is the same thing. It's just the app they use for options trading, which is cool. I think it was two or four guys that came up with that idea, and they were utilizing it to make a lot of option trades. And then TD Ameritrade came and purchased them out and brought them on the company and said, "Hey, you become part of us now." It's a crazy, crazy system. But anytime you call in, just hypothetically speaking here, or my opinion, anytime you call in, they're willing to answer not only any question but also explain things to you as you ask. So um, it's there. That's another source of to understand the options game. But I'm like I said, with time you'll see, guys. We'll talk more and more and more about it. Um, HYC CM, is it HYCM or MC? It doesn't matter. I get the point. What's up, Moose? Is next AMC, baby. Well, I wouldn't call it next AMC, but I will say that it has a lot of potential to grow and go forward, especially with the times that we're in, and for the market crash that we're approaching. It will have its value, especially because of what it is. Just the fact that it is a gold mine and precious metals mine. It's going to have its opportunities. And again, it's going to be interesting to know. I know they raised equity like up to 195 million, I believe, over the weekend until now, by selling obviously equity shares. But that's in a way kind of what AMC did to refinance their debt and all that stuff. So what are they going to do with it? That's what I'm looking forward to see. And the person I'll be following for that will not be Adam Aaron because he's got a job to do for AMC. I'll keep my eyes on Eric Sprout. Keep your eye on that guy because that guy will be doing stuff in the background as far as whatever he's doing will look like. I'll be looking at if they are already like if they put out any news talking about we're pulling out this or whatever they're leaning toward, like whether gold, silver, or whatever, like that would tell a lot. Because if we're going into this recession and a market crash and cryptos surge, most likely obviously they will be doing some things that will reference to that, like to that major rip in the crypto world, which means it will be backed by gold if it's going to become the monetary system of standard of the globe, of the whole entire globe and the world, which means it will be backed by precious metal, which obviously is gold at this point, which automatically will become a very, very, very big asset when that time comes. Right now, you're buying it at simple, very simple levels. But all that can be confirmed for me when we go in that direction. If we don't go in that direction, then um, I would have to be afraid that they could be easily, doing this so they can profit themselves as from a company that they could day trade on. And by the end of the year or something, they probably will sell it, and if most likely for profits or for tax write-offs. We'll see. But that's the person I'm paying attention to, is Sprout. As far as Adam Aaron, I know what he's doing with AMC, what he has to do with AMC, and he will be reporting or saying things about HYMC. But the moves that I'm paying attention to, if I was an HYMC, I'll be paying attention to Eric Sprout's moves. He's the dark horse in this scenario. AB Investments will buy the Green Bay Packers after the squeeze. They will not sell it, man. That would be my ultimate dream, of course. Uh, Pretty sure it's a lot of people's dream, but there's no way, man. Like those guys, even if I had the money, they will not sell it. I mean, that's why I love that organization. The fact that not the organization, the team, because it's simply owned by the people. We just have a shitty organization. That's it. Like um, whether it's I don't think it's LaFell or the coach. I think it's mainly the uh, GM and those crew and the coaching staff, like the other coaching staff. But the rest is great. I mean, everybody knows by now. I hope you know that Rodgers is the best QB in the league for a long time now. And unfortunately, they keep selling them short by selling out his favorite assets. Every year, they're getting rid of a receiver. Rodgers was responsible for a lot of careers. I guarantee you. I would tell you that. Jordy Nelson's, Randall Cobb's, Devontae Adams, Jefferson's. It's so many, so many. And he will continue to make more, as long as he plays. Let's see. Back to this market. You heard it here first. Yeah, the day that happens, I don't no, I don't think that will ever happen, man. I don't think that will ever happen. That franchise is, I mean, oh my God, I'm dying to just to get a ticket to go watch a playoff game, for the Packers, and of course they're ridiculously expensive, but even they're always all sold out. Like you would have to literally approach any of the ticket holders, which is the fans or the people who live in that in Wisconsin that own the team and the seats. You would have to reach out to one and try to bribe them behind the scenes, or tell them something about some sad story that you're developing cancer and please, you need to live. I wouldn't go that far now, but it's your only wish is to see Aaron Rodgers of the Green Bay Packers. Who knows? People are that good in the cheese, in the cheese state. So so they might be very humble and actually say, you know what, here, go for free. Can't find you on Twitter or Instagram. Yes, so I have, okay, two Twitters. I have Dogeman. Let me open it real quick. And that's the one that I used personally all along. But then I also have a new one that I just made up that has probably one or two followers on it. But I don't promote it, like I said, and it's called the AB Investments. But let me see real quick exactly something very, very, very quick and give you exact, you know, sign in, sign in. I'm signing in right now. Okay. Twitter. Come on. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Of course, now I can't log in. Okay. Okay, there we go. Sorry, guys. Oh, of course, now get frozen. This is harder than trading. Okay. I can't find it right now. It's just not going through. Sorry, guys, for the wait. But yeah, um, one of them is Dogeman, and that was my like my original one. Again, I don't promote any of them much. Da, Dogeman AV. I will put in the comment section for those of you whoever is interested. We'll end the live soon, pretty soon here, guys. After I finish all the rest of the comments that are in there or the questions, but afterwards, I'm also going to put in the comment section. Besides just putting the name of the uh, trader for before, besides just putting the one for Angel, I'm going to put the name of that guy as well. But I'm also going to put in my Twitter username. So feel free to go and follow that, or for those of you who are interested. Let's see. Um, Frank said I sell food. Well, I'm still hungry too. I would love a plate. I will come and check you out soon. Visit you. Frank, are you a Packers fan too? And Lion. No, Lion. I remember you. I think you're a San Francisco 49ers fan. That would be awesome. More Packers are in here. Okay, Assiduous, I think the one-liner of the year I keep hearing everyone, and then is we care about your money investment. Like, golly gee, I didn't know some many people cared about my money. Wow. Okay, well, according to that post, Frank, I know officially that you are definitely a Packers fan. I love you guys even more now. Yes, likewise. Um, Allen, 42. Yeah, that's a good predicting price target. Let's see. Mine was at the 42.89. Yeah. So, hey, whoa. You're competing with me now, Alan. That's a good thing. All right. Let's see. What else do we have? In the first round, pick of the NFL draft, the Green Bay Packers select AB Investments wide receiver. uh, well, now we need like what? Like we definitely need a receiver with Devonte Adam leaving. No more number one receiver, so we need a second one. Uh, so yeah, I think I'll be a very good option for the tight end position, or a defensive end. That's what I played in football in high school, just one season, and my dad wouldn't even allow me to play continuously. My dad is really with the mindset of, a foreign mindset. He looks at American football as not a sport. He sees it as a something that is like lust for violence. That's what he considers it as. He doesn't even really, honestly, he's not even a fan of sports in general. But for him, he sees it as a stupid thing to do. He's like, look, uh, I didn't bring you 5 or 6 thousand miles away to come here and to break your leg. I don't know. Hopefully, I didn't crucify the accent, but that's literally his saying. And then he didn't even sign my, uh, my physical, or even authorize me to play in high school continuously, even though I had a pretty good, you know, solid career with that. So yeah, he was like, no, you're not playing that. But yeah, defensive lineman, linebacker or something outside. Yeah, I'll make sure that San Francisco wouldn't be running all over the place on us in the NFC Championship game. Um, Assiduous, sorry if my other comments were too direct. Was just trying to shed some transparency. Wink, wink. Assiduous, we all by now, every person who subscribed to this channel knows what your true intentions are. We're all one family in here. Um, and I would assume that you and any of us would be the first to stand up to each other, similar to what Will Smith did to Chris Rock. If any outsider was to come in and belittle the family or anyone in the family, or talk about anyone in the family, I believe that any of us will step up and do the same thing Will Smith did, digitally. So none taken, at least from my side. Lion said Trey area. All right, guys. So I see that most of you now are probably doing happy hour right now because you're probably happy on the day. Uh, I see. Oh, I see. Just the whole thing with Will Smith is nuts. Basically, Hollywood said if you get violent, then that's cool. Yeah. Yeah, I said Assiduous earlier in the beginning of this chat that um, I'm all for defending yours, but what I think Will Smith did was out of line at a certain point, because one, Chris Rock is a comedian. Will Smith is a comedian for his own sake as well. Yeah, Chris Rock did overstep the line, but when do comedians watch the line? And that's the thing. So see, I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna watch every single word because Will Smith just virtually smacked my camera. So yes, guys. Again, I don't like to a certain extent. I don't agree what he did, but I can't fault him. And that sends out a really terrible message out there to the rest of the world. Now, every young kid or every person out there is going to think that, hey, if you don't like something, go change it with your own hands, and even if it means be violent. And yeah, I don't necessarily like I said agree with that. Watch the trend of how many people start getting smacked left and right on the social media nowadays. You'll see for the next 6 months is going to be nothing but a smacking spree for every person out there that wants to get famous. Like smack someone random or someone that you wanted to smack forever and do a hashtag Will Smith. Later, brother. Yeah, see, Tiny, careful if you keep his name out of your mouth. Yeah, you see, you just smacked the camera. Um, Lion, my pops supported me on anything I did and encouraged me to play sports, so I choose boxing. Okay, I need some lessons, brother. Maybe you could teach me. Um, I'm a big MMA fan and a big obviously boxing fan, but a little more on the MMA side. Um, but obviously, I want to learn even more and more. I think it's very technical sport, especially boxing, because unlike MMA, it's like you utilizing everything. It's the most close to a street fight as it gets. Um, but boxing is very technical in a way, in its own right. It's classy as well. So I would like to learn that more. So if you have any tips, um, maybe you can line. Maybe you can make a YouTube channel and teach us all. You'll have the blessings from here coming. Everybody, you could promote it here. Pretty sure many of us want to learn self-defense. All right, guys, as I was saying, maybe most of you now are downing one or two for the happy hour now. um, and honestly, yes, Tiny, I'm gonna put some final words now. I would look out for the six something, six-ish, 7 o'clock time frame, which is what we approaching right now, to see any crazy movements. If we don't see any, that means it's waiting to happen tomorrow. Big things happening tomorrow, as we see. As I told you guys, uh, my personal predictions is to break our next level of resistance, the major, because there's resistances everywhere, but our next major level of resistance is that 42.89. And honestly, I'm looking to break that tomorrow, because tomorrow could actually be the first leg up from the for the squeeze, as hopefully as we expect. Like I said, today we closed at a very nice. What was the final day? Was it like 41% that we went up on? Let me see. We closed. Yeah, sub 40%. So therefore, I expect at least another 20% movement, which don't justify like today. Like if we go 20%, then tomorrow, then one, we confirm my theory on the 30% plus two straight trading sessions back to back. And then not only that, we will see that. I expect that if we go up that 20%, I expect that we'll continue to keep going until we break that 42.89, perhaps even a lot higher. But I did say that 42.89 is our next level of resistance, major level resistance. After that will become the 51.29, 51, sorry, 51, no, 52, 51.97 to slash 52.03. In that range. And then even after that, the last third and final major level of resistance is 60. Let's see. 60. Yep. $60 and or 61.40. So we break those guys, and after that we're gonna see all-time high after that and go crazy. And I see, before I finish those last final words, Sashi, hi bro, BBBY win, go 100%. You'll see soon, in time, in due time. But there's high potential for that, brother. I can't tell you obviously when and how and what will do what, but since I'm not a financial advisor, but I could tell you that it has the very, very high potential of doing so. And that actually is very low compared to the potential that it has. It has potential for 4 and 500x and even more. So yes, that's what I see AMC at. Then GME, it's wow. So today it broke one of its first major resistances, which was around that 155, and it went up to, obviously, as we know now, it's to 189. That's what it closed at. The next major resistance for it will be very near. It's around 199. Yep. 199 and some change. 199.32. You break 199.32, the next level of resistance will be around 232. 233.83. And after that, you're gonna be flying. Literally, there's like literally a huge gap from the 233.83 level. From the 233 level, you have a major gap all the way to the all-time high, which was 483, which is crazy. Basically double in price in a matter of seconds. And that will be broken after we break that level of 233, 233 and 233.83 cents. So with that being said, guys, look for the fireworks to happen tomorrow as far as the options from last week to go tomorrow and be dealt with tomorrow, specifically for tlry as well. We're not going to forget about that guy. Been saying that a lot since last week. So this tomorrow, I'm looking for that to go through. If that and sundial. Now, sundial did get crucified on the options chain last week. But that does not take away all the failure to delivers that are against it. Now, are they forced to put those in? No. But what makes me really confident is the fact that many other meme stocks, if any of these rip, like if AMC or GameStop do what we were expecting to do tomorrow, then it's a no-brainer for me personally on what happens with the rest of this meme stock movement, because one in means all in. And if all are in, then so many are going to get vaporized. And it's not going to be us, because we're not the ones that are shorting this. With that being said, much love, guys. Thank you so much for attending the chat. Forks, welcome. Sorry, you're coming in, I'm leaving. Yes, it was a great day for AMC and GME, and I will make a video perhaps afterwards, later on tonight, just to speak on things for people who couldn't attend the chat or any of that. Um, and I do think I have a Dropbox, tiny investor. I just don't know what it is and where I had it. I haven't used it in probably a long time. So bear with me, please. Hopefully the email works as I gave it, but if it doesn't, it's okay. I can make videos again and talk about it. All these whatever is lighting up. So I'm most likely you'll see a video, guys, of me recording this last final message. To the rest of the people who missed the chat. Now, I'm also will add some of the developments happening in the aftermarket. So you still want to tune in and watch that video even if you were part of this live, because you might find a few extra bones here and there. Okay. Again, guys, thank you so much. AB Investments, much love.